In the deep embrace of sorrow, voices that echo in your heart and mind are not always of those filled with love. Just remember, those tones of comfort and the resonance of the familiar may in fact be a disguise to capture. Cocooned in a small village of La Brea, South Trinidad, Aisha sat on a rocking chair by the gallery at the front of her home, waving to her father Jason and her sister Anna as they left for work on a warm, humid Saturday morning. With the house to herself, she thought up various ways to keep herself occupied, none of them really enticing. Her 12th birthday was 2 weeks away. You'd think it was a moment that ought to bring her joy. Instead, her heart was heavy with the loss of her mother. 2 years had already passed, but the pain of losing her just seemed to deepen. Not wanting to alarm her sister and father, she continued to put on a happy front. As the days approached her birthday, each day felt like a 10-pound weight kept being added on to her small, fragile shoulders. Trying to keep her frame upright while continuing to act was proving futile. As she sat rocking away, she reminisced of the vibrant stories her mother used to tell her. She could almost hear her mother's melodic voice in the wind, wrapping her in the warmest of embrace. Sitting in her solemn cocoon, the world around her carried on. High-pitched laughter here, a quarrel over there. The world was alive, but her mother wasn't. Her village, her home, becoming her prison of sorrow. To others, she seemed too young to feel such pain. But who dictates how someone experiences life? The weights were proving to be far too much for her to carry. As the sun's rays started to bite and sting her skin, Aisha decided to enter the coolness of the house. She felt the tickle of a whisper by her neck. Goosebumps instantly popped up on her arms. She heard,
Aisha, Aisha, sweetie, come to me. Come to mommy.
Dismissing it as a trick of her mind and the breeze, she went inside. While inside, she busied herself with homework, cleaned and tidied up the house, all to keep her mind preoccupied. Hearing the possibility of her mother's voice, she recalled her stories around this time of the year. It was a few days to All Saints' Day. Her mother would try to scare the two sisters with tales of the Jumbie, how they would chuckle at the countless ways she would advise them on how to ward the creature off, or to prevent encountering them altogether. By walking into your home backwards, leaving your shoes outside if you'd visited a gravesite, sprinkling salt, creating a barrier, and one the family loved teasing each other with, was mimicking one another's voices at all hours of the day, dragging into the deep, deep night, trying to outdo the last scare, but that all stopped when her mother left them. Daylight faded fast, and with the rumble of her stomach, it was already 8 at night. Realizing this, Aisha decided to prepare a quick, simple meal of corned beef and rice for the family. With traffic horrendous as it was, she had more than enough time before they reached home. She heard the beginnings of drizzle. I hope it rained heavily tonight, Aisha pondered as she cooked. When 9:43 rolled around, the jiggle of keys and the rattle of a doorknob indicated the arrival of her family. Sighing as a lightness entered her chest, they really were her solace. Maybe, just maybe, one day she could build up the courage to untie her grief and confide in them. But not just yet. Sister, that corned beef I smell? Oh gosh, my belly fighting a hunger, Anna called out.
Dear Lord, please continue to bless my daughter's hands. Hey, without you, we'd have fallen down dead as we reach.
Jason joined in on the appreciation. As they sat down to eat, Jason was rattling to them of his day.
And girls, just so you know, I visited your mommy grave. I'll have to say right there, it need a little washing up and paint. The church maintaining the grass so it don't look like a blasted forest. Remind me when we go to clean up. to carry the cutlass in case they grew back. You know the rain playing the backside these days.
Aye, aye, Daddy, Anna giggled. Hearing her father bring up her mother's grave made her heart squeeze tightly. To brighten her mood, Aisha jokingly spoke to her father words that her mother used to say. Daddy, when you come in the house, you remember to walk in backwards? You know we don't want no Jumbie in the house.
Hey, me clean forget that. I'ma finish my food and I go do that. I go leave my shoes outside too.
They finished their meal in the comfort of each other, in the absence of a past loved one. The rain picked up a fierceness. They washed up and prepared for bed. Listening to the rain, Aisha could have sworn she heard her mother's laughter. Lightning struck.
Wait, sir, you sleeping good tonight. Have a good night, my picty.
Night, Daddy, Aisha, Anna called out. Night, Daddy, Anna. Mommy, Aisha whispered with melancholy. Once shut away from the presence of her family members, Aisha climbed into bed, tucking herself in ready to embrace the torrent happening outside. As her head hit the pillow, looking forward to a peaceful sleep, the violent sounds of rain and wind, with the occasional thunder, made the atmosphere turn heavy. The deluge almost seemed to be quarreling. Instead of the peace she wanted, Aisha felt an uncomfortable restlessness nestle within her. She blinked her eyes open to the strikes of lightning. Slowly sitting up in bed, she rested her head on her knees.
Aisha, sweetie, come to mommy.
In all the rumblings, a voice could just be heard. What? Aisha thought. It sounded like her mother's voice. She'd heard it earlier in the day. At that time, she thought it was her imaginings.
My baby girl, do you miss mommy? Aisha.
Mommy? She answered, though she heeded her parents' warnings of not answering voices that call out to you. Aisha could not help but answer to what seemed like her mother's voice.
Come to me, sweetie. Come to me. All right, outside. Waiting for you.
The words getting clearer with each utterance. Aisha got out of bed and opened her door, but the hallway was empty, except for the sounds reverberating throughout the house. Aisha sighed, her hope of seeing her mother fading. Now, fully awake, she went to lie on the couch in the living room, listening intently to her surroundings. The clock on the mantelpiece that held pictures of the family struck 12. Just as it did, the frames tumbled down as lightning struck, and the thunder shook the house. Aisha jumped up and ran to check on the now shattered frames. Rescuing her family pictures, she cut herself on glass. Ah! She hissed. What going on? Frustrated, she washed her hand of blood by the kitchen sink, leaving the pictures on the counter. Anna and Daddy sleeping like the dead. Feeling the slightest breeze graze her nose, a voice was carried with it.
Aisha, sweetie.
Mommy? Aisha turned and looked at the pictures on the table. Looking at one that held only her mother, she questioned it. Why you keep calling me, but you're not here? She slammed the table hard and the pictures lifted, floating into the darkness of the house. No, Mommy! She cried, her voice drowned out by the thunder. Trying to calm down, she took in deep breaths. She could smell a change in the air. It once held the pleasant scent of rain. Now it was something else. Something dark, foul, an earthy stench, the dampness of a grave disturbed. Lightning split the sky. Hoping to shake off the growing eeriness, Aisha promised herself to search for the pictures in the light of day. Just as she headed to her room, she heard knocking on the front door. At first, it was gentle. Then it turned aggressive. The doorknob rattled as if it would be dislodged from the door. Again, she heard the voice.
to Mommy.
Conflicted, she felt a pull towards the door, shadowed in its infinite darkness. "Mummy?" she inquired as the door on its own creaked open. A figure, shrouded in black. Only braided hair could be made out. Just behind the figure, outside, the storm was ramping up as trees shook ready to be uprooted.
"Aisha, my dear child."
The figure gently greeted her. Staring straight at it, Aisha's heartbeat raced with sweet anticipation. But just as she decided to embrace the figure, lightning struck once more and enlightened Aisha to a terrifying, horrifying visage. Decaying grayish-green skin beneath tattered clothing, with its braided hair now out of its face, glowing green eyes peered into her soul. Without hesitation, Aisha slammed the door shut with such force the walls groaned. Locking it, she backed away, petrified.